Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning to the great state of Texas. Good morning to the United States of America. Good morning to the entire world receiving our signals via the magic of El Internet, formerly known as the ARPANET, created by whom? We the people. We the people. Repeat that, folks. We the people, now controlled by others, taking away our rights, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about, but without further ado, let's move it on to the studio where our resident geniuses are El Senor Howard Reynolds and Jack Van Beba.
Have you seen those geniuses yet, Jack?
Man, we're still trying to find them.
I'm telling you.
What is Andy with some geniuses?
That would mean we would be fired.
Well,
come on, geniuses. Come on, geniuses. Accept your title.
Oh, well, we're just kind of modest.
Well, it is another fine day at the radio here, happening on Friday, the 12th of September, 2025. We have made it through almost all the year, and we're still here. So that's a good thing. Unfortunately, well, I heard your show yesterday, Egberto, talking about the deification of certain people who have been, eliminated. So it was a very good show, and I think a lot of people are going, hey, wait a minute, this guy was, a muckraker.
Yeah, look, the thing about it is, and I'm gonna start a little bit about that later, when we start the show, but it irks me that what the media, and especially the mainstream media, is doing, and a lot of people in the mainstream media are losing their jobs, but I'm gonna talk about that afterwards because it's a sad case.
It is. I mean, and unfortunately, it came to this, but, and I don't think it should be tolerated at all, but, there's got to be something done about guns. There's just too many of them.
Oh, yeah.
And too many in the wrong hands. So anyway, that's my take on things. And Jack has a full page of wisdom, so I suggest we get to it right away.
All right, Brother Jack.
Good morning, Egberto. How are you?
I am doing fine, my brother. Talk to me.
All right. The cost of our for-profit healthcare system continues to soar, leaving millions without access to basic health care, while healthcare corporations turn healthcare into a commodity. Unlike every other developed nation that treats healthcare as a human right, the American healthcare system enriches private insurers and pharmaceutical giants at the expense and detriment of ordinary people. How does it feel, America, to know that you, the citizen, the people, are being exploited financially for your healthcare? A lot of our healthcare problems today are related to our diets. Our grocery stores sell us everything we need to wreck our health. Whole aisles of our grocery stores are devoted to the snacks that in the long run wreck our health. The candy cookie aisle, the potato chip and cracker aisle, the soda aisle, the booze aisle. All these aisles use an underlying addictive exploitation to keep you snacking, drinking, and wrecking your health. Not to mention the bottled water aisle that sells us plastic to trash our planet with the water we drink.
Oh, God.
So crazy. It's a tangled web we weave here in America.
I know,
Yes.
but the cookie aisle and the chip aisle are my favorites. I will have to admit that. But yeah, you're right.
I've been able to avoid those aisles. I shop the perimeter. That's where all the good food is. On the outside perimeter of a grocery store. You get lost in the aisles, you're taking your own chances.
Buy me.
But you know what, man? They make those chips so. It is like crack. You start doing it, and it's like, oh my God, it's so good. I tell you what, though, engineered food, as bad as it is for you, unfortunately, it does something. It tastes good. I hate to admit it, but it tastes good.
I don't know if you ever smoked or not. I did.
Uh-huh.
And people never understood, well, does it taste bad? No, it tastes good. I miss my cigarettes. I liked
Hmm.
my cigarettes. I just wish the fact that they weren't so bad for you, that they kill you, and they do. It just takes a long time to do it. But man, nothing better than a cup of coffee and a cigarette in the morning. It's like that's the way you start off the day.
They
But I
they
had to.
they sell it to you when you're young, and then they treat you for it when you're old.
Well, that is true.
Oh, you
In the meantime,
nailed it.
they make a whole lot of money off of you. But
It's
anyway,
exploitation for sure.
see, that's what heaven's going to be like. The first thing they'll get up there and they go, "Okay, this is great. Would you like a cigarette?" Why, sure, I would. I'm already dead. All right, take it away, Egberto.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Look, let me start with. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on Charlie Kirk. Okay, but I do want to say this. A lot of people on the left have been losing their jobs for telling the truth. One of the better pundits on MSNBC, a guy that is real straight up. He doesn't try to say a whole bunch of nonsense, or he's not like super on the left or right or anything like that. He just called it straight. He made the mistake of calling it straight with Charlie Kirk and what Charlie Kirk represented, and the right wing machine went crazy, and they went on the Twitter attacks and everything, and MSNBC fired the pundit. First of all, it's amazing that in a place that claimed to have free speech, that telling the truth can get you fired, and the excuse is that you're being insensitive. I want all of you to listen. Welcome, Lisa Blair from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome aboard. Welcome, Lana Foley. It's never happening. Says good morning, crew. Mary B, Virginia Causa. Welcome aboard. Uh, we also have It's Not Happening. We also have Margot, Lynn, Betsy, Juicy Clayla, Maria Miller, Mary B, Matthew Ward, Dan, and thank you guys all for being here. And more coming. Remember, I missed the first few. All right. So he got fired for telling the truth. I want to give all of you an exercise because folks, a lot of older folks don't listen to, they didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was. Young college kids, mostly young conservative college kids, and progressive college kids that like to really challenge, politically, know who Charlie Kirk is very well. And if you listen to the vile stuff that comes out of that guy, uh, you would wonder. uh, First of all, you listen to the vile stuff, from racial stuff to stuff against gay folks, trans folks, to things against women, to things about Palestinians. This, the things that came out of this guy's mouth was vile. And by the way, that first of all, for being as vile as he was, nobody deserves to be shot, nobody deserves to be killed, nobody deserves to be assassinated. That's a statement of fact. But there was nothing meritorious about this guy. Remember, he didn't earn anything. When he became a provocateur, money lined his pockets. And I did a live with another Substacker yesterday where I pointed out, and this is really clear, where I pointed out that what conservative billionaires were paying this guy to do, as they gave him over $100 million in support, what they were paying for was for him to reverse all the progress we've made by indoctrinating the younger generations in colleges. That was his purpose. He served a job, and they were willing to pay dearly for that. And as I mentioned, I don't remember if I mentioned this on my show yesterday morning or my afternoon show, but as a person of color, a person, uh, when I hear him teach, and that's exactly what I'm saying, when I hear him teach kids in college, all the things that I've gone through in my life to come out to come out, all the things that I have done to move forward, all the things that every woman has done to move forward in a patriarchal society, all the things that gay folks have done to be recognized as human beings and worthy, all the things that underprivileged folks have done. This is a guy that says empathy is no good. One shouldn't have empathy. This is a guy that talks about being on an airplane with a black person flying, how you should feel about it. He's putting that into the heads of college students. He's putting that into the heads of college students, and I take that as a that is to move the country backwards. And to watch the vice president last night with his casket, the vice president of the United States, for a person that have done those vile things, to be escorting that casket to the airplane. For somebody like myself, for every woman, that should be an indication of what the administration stands for or hold up. That was quite obvious, that you are there to move on the casket of somebody that has vilely attacked minorities, that have vilely attacked women, that have vilely attacked others. And the vice president is there to escort the casket. We should not be happy at all for the killing of anybody, no matter how vile that person is. But we should not try to deify or try to make nicer the evil that that person represented, the evil that that person attempted to inculcate into the minds of others. It should not be tolerated. And what should be done against at that voting booth? You should remember those who have tried to move this country backwards, to fight all the things that I had to live through in this country, that women had to live through in this country. So, folks, don't buy into the attempt at making this person what he wasn't on national TV. And challenge all outlets that have let go anybody who had the pelotas to tell the truth about this person. Yes, we should not be vile against, we should have a certain respect for someone's family's passing. But one should not try to change one's legacy, because the legacy that he's leaving behind isn't a legacy that Americans should want to have anything to do with. Anything to do with. And the fact that somebody can be civil as they promote hate, and a lame media attempt to say, well, he tried to encourage discourse, is crap. Because if the things he said about certain demographics, it would be hell if he attempted to do that. Oh, Brian called pretty early. If it's the same Brian, come on in, Brian.
Yes, it's Brian. It's Brian. It's me. Yes, of course.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got more than 10 hours of downloaded programming of yours, and you generally cut me off after about 36.
Look. Call and say what you want to say, and don't tell me about what I've cutting you off, sir. You're taking time by talking silliness. So get moving with what you want to talk about.
I am talking about it. It's called freedom of speech. You understand? As an average,
you either start talking or you get cut off again, sir. What do you want to add to the discussion? Go ahead, move on.
You have a hatred of freedom of speech. That's all there is. That's a fact. And I'm going to write an email letter to corporate and to Sandy.
You can write an email. Look, Brian, you can write an email letter to Jesus Christ. You can write an email letter to Jesus Christ. You are a person who calls here with hate, and we're not going to tolerate it. So go ahead and make your point if you want to say something, or we'll hang you up. What do you need to say?
Thank you for your anger. That's my point.
Goodbye. Let's go to John. John, how you doing, my brother?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just wanted to finish what I was trying to say yesterday. And this administration has proven that patronage is what they're all about. They could care less, really, about how qualified people are. They, across the board, cut people in military positions and put in ideologues that they like. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the most telling was the JFK testimony, but also Kristi Noem, when she didn't even know what habeas corpus was. And if it was me, I would have resigned because I would have been so embarrassed because, you know, a person in her position should just know that. So this is what we've, part of the population has elected. And when they talk about DEI, they have no idea what that it really means. And they shut down when people try to, delve into it and explain to them what is actually going on, what is meant by affirmative action, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all I wanted to say.
John, thank you for saying that because you bring up a very good point, right? And it even ties into how I started with Kurt. Because here's the thing: you brought up Kristi Noem, the person who's leading DHS, not able to talk about habeas corpus, etc. Yet she's leading DHS, right? We also have Kennedy,
Yep,
who's leading HHS, and he knew nothing about the difference between Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare Advantage. He couldn't talk about that. Yet Kurt has the nerve to talk about DEI being a negative. We also have Hegseth running the Department of Defense, putting classified information on not WhatsApp, but the pretty much the other right. And not only that, not knowing anything about international politics or the 7 nations that comprises care. I mean, it goes on and on with the incompetence. We have the woman who runs education, who was a wrestling chairman or something like that, who didn't know what AI stands for. She thought AI was the steak sauce. I mean, you can go on and on with the bastion of incompetence that is running this country. And we can go even further, my brother, by pointing out something as simple as not understanding that if you have tariffs from his economic council, if you have tariffs and at the same time you have an immigration that gets getting rid of actual workers doing things that the United States either can't do or don't want to do, U.S. citizens can't do or don't want to do, that deporting these folks under pretext will actually harm the economy, which is proven to be doing right now, from farm workers to high-tech plants in Georgia, where the skills are not there to build the plant. Let me tell you, I'm glad you brought that up, because let me tell you what happened yesterday. The Koreans were supposed to leave the day before, and Donald Trump stopped them from leaving. Guess why Donald Trump stopped them from leaving? Because he was begging them to stay. After DHS made that big thing about arresting 400 people in Georgia, Donald Trump is begging them to stay. And guess what happened? Of the 400 something, only one decided to stay. They said, "We're getting to hell out of here. We are getting to hell out of here." So think about that, folks. That is what we're talking about. And the thing about it is, the farmers, how could they? What's his name? Musk is supposed to be this genius, so he shuts down USAID instead of waiting and saying what does it imply if we shut down USAID? Not only does people starve and millions die around the world, but also our farmers lose their farms because USAID was pretty much buying all the soybeans and these other products that these farmers are now begging for a handout. They are begging for a handout. And let me show you how racial politics works as well. A lot of these farmers could get loans. A lot of black farmers could not get loans. Guess which farmers are in trouble now? You see? Because these other guys had to make do without getting a hand up. And those that got a hand up are now suffering. But not because they needed to, because USAID closed. So, folks, it just shows you the ineptitude. Now, you have to ask the questions. Why aren't the mainstream media reporting this much more now, the plight of the farmer? And I tell you why, John. The same thing under
Yeah.
when welfare was being cut under the Clinton administration. I once told my friend, watch how the color of welfare change as we start to put cuts in. And exactly what happened. Americans are being defrauded of knowledge. Americans are good people being defrauded of knowledge. That's why we're here, independent media. Anyway, thank you, John. You have a wonderful rest of your day, sir.
Mhm.
All right, let's go to Donald. Come on in, Donald.
Well, good morning, Gilberto. Do people know that this is a politics show and that you play a certain way and everything goes in politics? There's no holds barred. It's to
I
win.
I
It's to sway.
wonder, Donald. Thank you for that. But you know what? It's interesting, Donald. In as much as I am a lefty, I am as left as one can get. And people here in Kingwood would tell you that. I sit down for hours and speak to people on all sides, and I don't do it in the form that Charlie Kirk did it. Charlie Kirk did it to harm people. Charlie Kirk did it to insult people. Charlie Kirk did it being on the opposite side, not as a dialogue, but as to convince you to hurt people. When I sit down with my neighbors who are completely on the right, we sit down and talk about what really would be best for us all. And they get it. They get it. So thank you for that, Donald. It's important what you just said.
And one other thing, I've used DEI before it was cool and even said for, and that was to break good old boy systems. When you go into mergers and acquisitions and you go into a company, you put certain people that look a certain way in certain positions. Like I would move, the Sultan into
Yeah.
being for inspection so that no one could get stuff through that I knew they were letting slide. Now, this guy's an electrical engineer in his country. He came to America, and this is where I know the system is rigged. They would not let him pass out. He had to pay a certain amount of money to get his electrical engineering degree in the United States for it to be valid. They would
Yeah.
not let him just have it. Same way with doctors, same way with everything. If you come to this country, you have to go through their system in order to get a degree in this country. You can't test out. You can on some of it, but you have to pay certain number of hours and do the work
Yeah.
instead of being able to prove it. And
Yeah.
then I would move other people into positions to where I knew that the good old boy system, and I was breaking a good old boy system because I bleed whatever color the company is. If it's red, if it's orange, if it's blue. Because
You know,
my job is to go in there and make that company money and not base anything on anybody but other than their actions.
right. And here's the thing, and this is an interesting thing, right? When it comes to good old boy system or whatever, it has been proven that when you get rid of the good old boy system, the company is more profitable. And in as much as you did that to make more money, that is exactly what that proves as well. If you have an integrated system with all kind of folk, meaning everybody, competent everybody, but everybody that looks like the world, that company is going to be more successful. I can tell you stories that being in business in different fields where I had to make sure to do certain things for business for the good old boy network, and when it was no longer necessary, how much better it was for the companies that we're dealing with in the first place. So, no, I mean,
But I'm
this good.
also going to say one other thing. You cannot have too many of one person, because then they start groups.
Right,
And
you
they
get
the head
it,
FA and all this other stuff, and it'll bite you in the butt. So you have
it
to have a
is.
well diversified coalition of people working together for the common good and the cause.
Let me tell you, it's funny because I am not a fan of the founders because of course, slavery and capitalism. Okay, but even the founders, if you read the Federalist Papers, right? Read the Federalist Papers when you get a chance. I think it's specifically Federalist number 10. If you read Federalist number 10, what you're going to find out that the founders talked about were factions, okay? And how factions are formed and how do we get around factions. Even they realized that that has some problem. Unfortunately, they didn't quite finish the job. But anyway, Donald, thank you very much for your call, brother.
Oh, and one other thing, I'm a lone wolf, but I'm telling you what, when 10 of us lone wolves get together, there's always going to be problems. And that's it. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, Donald,
Bye.
before you go, I think let me tell you, Sister Marge KJ, I don't think she completely understands your humor. Marge KJ, you know me, sis. He's all right. He's all right. Sometimes he says some crazy things,
The
but he's all
thing.
right.
Well, that's the whole thing. I say crazy things. If I come out and tell you the truth, and oh yeah, you don't need to send Jesus an email. He's right here beside me. I'll talk to you later.
Take care, Donald. Take care. All right. All right. Let's go to brother Johnny. Come on in, Johnny. Maybe I'll get to the show sometime. Come on in, Johnny.
You know what my prescription is for the day? Donuts and coffee. I prefer donuts and coffee over random shot bullets. Charlie Kirk was an ankle biter. Charlie Kirk was simply an ankle biter with an agenda. He had a chip on his shoulder because he didn't do good in college. He dropped out,
He
and that's
dropped
why he
out.
likes colleges all the time and insult people, make fun of women, tell women that they're in college only because they're looking for a husband, talking all kinds of 1950s nonsense. He abused his power of free speech. Free speech is not an unlimited right. Like every other right, it has limits to it. Sad to say, but it's true because that's what human nature requires. And you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And as for people like Brian, I feel sorry for Brian because he's a smart guy and he chooses to be an ankle biter too. So if he wants to write emails to corporate, go ahead, buddy. Guess what? I've got KPFT on archive, and I could document stuff on this show to take an opposite point of view. So write all you want. Waste your time instead of helping us change this country for the better.
Thank you, brother Johnny. Thank you so kindly, buddy. You have a good rest of your day. Let's go to Bard. Come on in, Bard.
Yeah, I can't believe you're still talking about one of my favorite subjects, DEI. I just
Why?
don't get why you won't let this go. I mean, your biggest DEI failure just failed is Kamala.
How did she fail again?
You can't handle the truth. The truth shall set you free, Egberto.
Well, let me just say this to you, Bart. I have no intention or desire to bring you into reality. You can continue to feel what you feel about DEI. You can feel what you feel, not because you feel that makes it right or make it true. What it does, however, every time you call in with that,
I know you're
I
going to
think
cut me off. I know you're going to
I'm
cut me off.
no. Let me tell you, every time you call in with the issue, it just shows your level of intellect because there's data out there
You're
and the
talking
data is
about
clear.
you're
So
you're
it
talking
speaks
about
more about that.
and
Go ahead. Go ahead.
it,
I'm sorry.
look,
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
mean, you talk about this. Look at the health secretary that Biden had. It was a man, Richard Levine, dressed up as Miss Piggy, a woman. And
And
you're going to tell us that's good for our
what's wrong
health?
with that? What's wrong with that? Please, please. Let me just say this, okay? This is just interesting. What I tell people on the right is try to just read stats. That's all. Someday, I hope that you can actually do research on your own. But for the audience that are listening that are upset that I allow folks like Brian and Bard to come on, there's reason to the madness. It just shows you what when you
I'm
decide
sorry that
and when you
hurt
choose. Okay, be quiet when I'm speaking, okay? Or you will be cut off.
sorry that this hurt you.
All right.
This
Now,
hurt you.
there when you go ahead and you listen to folks like this, it gives you the opportunity, because for anybody who is teasing themselves to maybe listen, what it looks like to be an anti-intellectual. Thank you so kindly, Bart. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
Enough,
Let's
I
go to
hope.
Augie. Augie, come on in, brother.
Yeah, when you were talking about cigarettes earlier, remember the Marlboro Cowboy?
Commercial, yeah.
Uh, but this last commercial was in a hospital bed. You couldn't recognize him. He looked in bad shape. He was telling everybody, "Don't smoke cigarettes."
Yeah.
And the thing about today's September 12th, and all those first responders breathed in all that toxic dust, and they were begging for medical help. The Republicans did not give it to them, but you know who gave them free medical care? The communists in Cuba.
Yeah.
Michael Moore took a shipload of his first responders over there, and they got free medical care. And when it was time for them to come back to the States, they gave them months' worth of prescriptions that they probably couldn't get in the United States that they would have to pay for.
Our healthcare system is sad, Augie. And again, it's not a healthcare system, but that's one of the things we're supposed to talk about this morning when I'm finished taking all these calls. But we'll see. Anything else, Augie? But you're correct.
Yeah, there was a surgeon I had to see one time, and you know you had to go through the nurses first. They take your vitals and all that, and they warn me about the surgeon. He likes to talk politics, right wing politics. And so when he came in to talk to me, that's the first thing he started talking about. And I'm glad the nurses warned me about it. So then I countered whatever he had to say, like you do with Barry and Bart and all the others, Brian. And we had a calm discussion back and forth. And we went so long, he forgot his other patients. But at the end, he shook my hands and said, we had a discussion. It was calm. Nobody yelled at each other or anything else like that. And he thanked me for it.
Yeah. Well, look,
But
Augie, that's what we try to do. We try to have conversations that change minds. Go ahead, brother.
oh yeah, about Barry and Bart and Lester and Brian. That guy they voted for, he insults everybody. He insults the military, their families, everybody else he doesn't like. And when he was first elected, there was a news reporter asked him what he thought about the people that voted for him, and he paused a couple of seconds and said he called them losers. He called Barry and Bart and Brian and Lester and all those others who vote for him losers, just like he insults the military and everybody else. But
Yeah,
that's
well,
something to think about.
thank you very much. I got to go, Augie. The lines are, again, every single one taken. Let's go to
Right.
Jeff. Come on in, Jeff. Jeff, line 5.
Good morning, Alberto.
Good morning, my brother. Talk to me.
I'm not real happy. I mean, this Charlie Kirk thing, demonizing the man. All he wanted to do was have his point of view taken, and he was an activist. And he's trying to change things, too. You may not agree with it, but, don't demonize the man for trying to change it. I mean, you're making it sound...
Let me ask you something, Jeff. Can I ask you something? Let me just say, I'm going to start with a touchy subject. What's your race?
That makes no difference. but
No, no,
I'm a white.
you're a white guy?
Yeah, it makes no
Okay.
difference. So
All right. Suppose Charlie Kirk says white men are evil. The only thing white men do is they go into other countries and assess and effect genocide. And not only do they are incompetent because they cannot accomplish anything on their own. They steal everyone else's intellect to produce anything of value. And if you had wait, let me finish, because Charlie Kirk has said not only things like that for just about every other every other identity, much worse and much more intense. Now, if you had a person speaking that way about you, which first of all, it's a lie. I mean, there are certain white men that do all those things that I just said, but in the aggregate, it's a lie because of white men who do that are the capitalists and folks in power. The other white men that I know, my two brothers in the studio and etc. Hey, these are some damn good white men. But suppose I went ahead and generalized white men that way, and my name was Charlie Kirk. Do you think you'd feel the same way?
I don't think he's ever done that. I don't think
Okay,
he said,
there
man,
you go.
I
And
accuse
and, and
black man. And
Jeff, and that's what I'm telling you. Okay, what I'm telling you is that it concerns me that after I spoke about the things that Charlie Kirk said that were not truthful, that I, as a black Latino Caribbean man, had to overcome in the workplace, in business. I am a very competent person, if I must say so myself. I am a hell of an engineer. I designed a whole lot of stuff that's all over the place, including some stuff on the space station, including some stuff on the in oil wells. But I have always still had to prove myself because of people like Charlie Kirk. And you are telling me, my dear brother Jeff, that I should not feel anything when this guy generalizes black folks, black women, women in general, and all of that. You're telling me I should just not demonize this guy that has demonized everybody else. That's what you're telling me, right?
give me an instance that he said that.
I
If you're gonna throw that
I don't
out,
have. Okay, hold on a second. You listen to my show every day, correct? Or often, correct?
off and on.
Okay. Well, I am saying this. I play enough videos and I play enough statements that Charlie Cook has made. Not only about black folk, not only about women, not only about Latinos, not only about Asians, etc. That you, instead of accusing me of bringing this guy down, is you should first ask me, Egberto, why exactly are you saying that? You should have enough faith and confidence that I try to do the right thing, not to attack me under that. Not I don't shouldn't say attack, not to challenge me in that form, because this guy was a vile, evil person. Okay.
I disagree with that. That's what we can disagree on.
Yes, and we can disagree. But when you disagree with me on that, what it tells me about you, my brother Jeff, is the following: that you don't mind somebody who would demean somebody that you claim to kind of like. You kind of like me, but you won't stand up
Like
to
Charlie
somebody. I am not
prove
done,
me
Jeff.
wrong.
Jeff, I'm not done. You are okay to have somebody be vile to me, and that is what concerns me many a times with certain folks in America. That as long as it's not happening to them, they don't see it, and I need to prove above and beyond. I am telling you, I'm not going to go into it now, but please just go on TikTok and YouTube and watch his full speeches. Watch what he does on his podcast and listen to his podcast and see what he did to Katanji Brown, an educated woman that did everything America said one should do to move themselves forward. And this college dropout, which is what Kirk was, and she went to Harvard and completed and did the work. And this college dropout disparaged her. Look it up and you'll find it. Jeff, I got to go. My lines are really full, but it concerns me that you can't see that, my brother. Thank you. Let's go to Jimmy, line 2.
Friday, everybody. Speaking about Charlie Kirk, I know you said he said a lot of vile things. The one of them that I remember he said was when he gets on an airplane and sees a black pilot, he wonders if that pilot is DEI. Well, that is a racist comment. I agree. That's a vile comment. But when you say that he makes a lot of vile comments, I would hope you would give us some examples of some of his vile comments that he says. And I've got one more comment of my own. There is no God. There is no heaven. There is no hell. They are all imaginary. They are not real. You cannot think of one thing that God has ever done. There is no afterlife. And so people just need to live a good life here on earth and try to make a better world and not worry about an afterlife because there is none.
Okay. All right, Jimmy. I will defer that to you. I give people their space to be as religious as they want to be. I am a humanist, but I give people have their beliefs. Hey, but thank you, Jimmy. My lines are completely full and we're at 41, so I gotta go. Thank you for your commentary, sir. Let's go to let's see, Michael, line 6.
Well, hello, KPFT listening family. Love to hear y'all voices sometimes in the morning. Some of you, and rather not. I've got some great news. United Healthcare stock is on the rise again. And the stars rating, they're going to get 5 stars for the Medicare Advantage programs out there. So I want this listening audience to know there is a health plan for you. And hopefully this Congress will give you some subsidies so that you can afford it. This message has been brought to you by Michael, a.k.a. Do You Lie? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. All right, folks. Remember, I know what Michael just said. If you're going in for Medicare, do remember, do not take Medicare Advantage. If you can afford the Medigap, this will ultimately, for many, save your lives. Go ahead. It's Medicare plus a Medigap program. All right, let's go to David. Come on in, David, line 1.
Oh, thanks, Egberto. Yeah, regarding Charlie Kirk and 9/11 for that matter, both of them, we here in America are not supposed to believe in human sacrifice, but when they try to make a martyr out of a guy like Charlie Kirk, or in the case of 9/11, they decided that that was a human sacrifice and that we had to have a world of terrorism, and that they had to change the whole design of America to justify what was actually seen as a crime. And so the whole vision of America is doubled back on, and we have to, instead of look at a crime, we have to look at fear-mongering and just this utter, like you're talking about, bigotry and hatred. That's what this is all about. We've got propagandists like Charlie Kirk who decided that America's vision is not good enough for the average person, and that the vision of crazy people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and the multi-billionaires that have no sense anymore. They have no real vision other than they're counting their pennies, and they have no desire to allow us to have our own lives. This human sacrifice issue is far bigger than, I'm not joking when I'm saying that 9/11
David, let me just tell you, you just said something that which every American understands. And when you talk about human sacrifice, that is what we have done for our economic system, create human sacrifices from 9/11 to the 60 something thousand healthcare deaths in this country because of lack of insurance, to the murders that occur because we no longer have parents that can take care of their kids because they have to work so hard in a system where it is very unbalanced. It's called human sacrifice. And you just gave me the item for a blog post that I think would open a lot of people's eyes. So, I mean, you nailed it when you called it human sacrifice. Thank you for that, David.
Sure, no trouble. Take
You
care.
have a wonderful rest of your day. Let's go to, I think it's Brother Tag up now.
Egberto, I'd like to just take a moment and talk about you. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
You know, you're always talking about trying to keep the lines of communication open with the right wing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got a quick story to tell you. Yesterday, I contacted one of my right wing friends from 10 years ago, and I hadn't heard from him much. And I'm so glad I did because, you know, he sent me some Charlie Kirk clips where Kirk was talking about his Christian beliefs. And I was kind of like, well, yeah, I guess Kirk isn't that bad. So, for one thing, I'm glad I listened to you about keeping that line of communication open with the other side. But also the fact that this isn't clips that the mainstream media is playing about Charlie Kirk, and I kind of got a different view about who he was. So I want to thank you for pushing that message about, you know, keeping the communication open with everybody. You do a great job with that.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, Tag. Have a good one, my brother. Let's go to Jim, line number 3.
Hello.
Jim, you're on.
Hello. Oh, okay, cool. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Talk to me, sir.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If, let's say, like someone like Joy Reid, or Rachel Maddow, on the left, and she was, or one of them was basically saying, you know, all the vile stuff about, like, the right, basically, like, the left version of what you claim is Charlie Keith, right?
Yes,
if
sir.
they said all those terrible things about, like, the right people, like conservatives, white people, or even other races like blacks, Hispanics, and things like that, and they got assassinated, if they got killed, if they sadly get killed, would you mourn their death? Would you, like, say some good things about them, or would you, you know, would you have the same energy as you do with Charlie Keith? Is what I'm asking.
I think you could go into the archive and see that is the truth. That's exactly what I would do. You see, I am left because I think the left side has proven to be the more humane side. Okay. Now there have been lefties that have done some. Let me finish, please. I made you speak. There have been lefties that I thought was completely devoid of what we really represent, and I have actually went actively against them, just like I did against Charlie Kirk. I can't think of it right now because it's infrequent that occurs. But no, I mean, I think you have a valid question when you ask me if there's somebody on the left doing bad things, if whether I would be just as I would be just not judgmental, but call them out just as well. And the answer to you, Jim, is absolutely so.
Okay. But do you really believe, like, the left is really the side of peace? Because I don't honestly believe that.
Well,
Ever since Charlie died, I've been on, like, Reddit and Twitter, and they're all freaking celebrating and dancing on his grave. And
let me just say this. I agree with you. Let me tell you where I agree with you. Okay? And I tried that. That's why the first day was so hard for me, right? Because I did not want to be dancing on his grave. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to make sure that the legacy that he represented was accurately represented. He's not a martyr. He's not a good person. He's a terrible person. But at the same time, I didn't want to make it that I am glad that he's dead, because I am not. I think it sends the wrong message. But again, Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no offense, but you don't really do a good job of making it seem like you're not glad he's dead. yeah, you say you're listing his history and giving an accurate report, but you know, you're just listing all his wrongs, much like the Trump administration. You're listing his wrongs and none of it's good.
Well, because there's not much good to speak about. What good is there for a person? A person put it that says, when you make a statement about black folks, when you make a statement about women only good for having children, when you make those kinds of statements, what good could you possibly say? What? Please tell me, Jim. I asked Jeff earlier about because what I find too often is that you cannot put yourself. I can put myself in your shoes. Okay. In other words, you're a white guy. I imagine it. I'm assuming based on, and Jeff said he was a white guy. There are two white guys I work with in this studio, Jack and Howard. I just feel love for these guys. I don't try to make these guys how what these other guys have done. Let me take it one step further. After speaking to Jack many a times, we have lunch together, and we have a heart to heart. We can understand each other's humanity. What I don't understand from folks like you, Jim and Jeff, is that you can't see why the words that come out of Charlie Kirk's mouth, why it has such an impact on people like me. Okay, I don't understand how you can think it is just.
Hold on. Well,
Go
what you're
ahead.
saying is that if they hurt your feelings.
No, it's not. No. It's not about feelings. You see, again, Jim, it's not about feelings, Jim. And that's what you see, and that's what I'm saying. You don't understand. It's not about feelings. It's about reality and what the hate is able to do. I've lived it. It's not about I feel bad that he said that. It's that this guy materially affected, or rather, the thoughts that this guy is promoting to colleges materially affected my life, materially affected the lives of millions because of what he's promoting out there. The lies that he's promoting actually harms. It harms women. It harms gays. It harms black people.
Ow.
Can't you see that?
People.
Okay, again, I don't. Wait. We're at 2 minutes. We're at 52. I can't go into all of that right now. But what I'm telling you, Jim, is the problem. The problem is that the fact that you can't see that says that you have a lot of work that you have to do. But thank you, Jim. I got to go to Isla. Isla, come on in.
Good morning, Alberto. I listen to your show every morning. I'm a first-time caller. I'm an African-American woman, and I agree with you 100%. And they can't see it. They can't see it because it's the breakdown in the education system. When people graduate from the 12th grade, they have a 5th grade, 8th grade level math and 5th grade reading level. So it's comprehension, and it's white privilege. They don't understand what it's like to be black out here. And Charlie Kirk, you are absolutely right. When he talked about that, we have to live that. That's our reality. And we are under supervisors who think that we are not competent and they disrespect us. But in particular, being a black woman, it's hard to be black. White people don't realize that. But it is very difficult in this world. Also, you invite violence against us.
Look, let me tell you, Isla, thank you for telling your experience. And it's important because people think, you listen to what Jim said. Oh, you're bad because he hurts your feeling. It's not about a hurt feeling. It's about a reality. And that is what it wasn't understood. Isla, I'm really up for time, and Derek is up as well. So thank you for listening every day. Love you, girl. And you keep listening and calling, okay?
Will do. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Let's go to Derek. Come on in, Derek.
Hey, thank you, Alberto, and thank you, Ida. Alberto, it goes back to the same saying. All wicked people think of themselves as good people. And of course they can't see it, just like they couldn't see that the time when they killed Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They were saying, oh, he's dead. We're glad he's dead. Now that means nothing to you, mister. But this Mr. Kirk guy, he He laid it all on the line. He put that rhetoric out there himself. It ain't that we have to sit up and mourn your person because you like your person. The same thing took place with Ronald Reagan. They always want to deify those whom they love, but then the minute we don't agree with it, then you're the bad person because you don't agree with what had took place with and live and try to live by their rhetoric. So thank you, Alberto, for putting this show out.
Thank you so kindly, Derek. You have a wonderful rest of your day. I didn't get to the healthcare. I promise over time I will talk more about the healthcare story. The calls were vibrant today and I needed to do it. But again, folks, this is not about hurt feelings. I don't care about hurt feelings. What I do care about is honesty, reality, and also treating everybody with respect. There's I am into all of us being together and doing the right thing. I am not going to deify somebody that was the instantiation of evil. I didn't want Charlie Kirk to be dead, but I'm very sorry if you are in this space and you read about this person and you listen to his voice, and I'm not talking about clips, I'm talking about in context. You'll see what we're talking about. Studio.
Oh, nothing here. Just another lively show. Jack's got something, though.
Jack, brother
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, it's they sell it to us when we're young and they treat us for us when we're old. Financial exploitation coming and going.
Those no, you have to use a word that he normally says. Those rats. All right, guys. Look, we got to get out of here. Look, love you all, guys. I really do. And even the callers that disagree, my expectation is that folks are going to listen and they're going to be introspective. As I am introspective when people call and disagree with me, I don't just end it at the show. I think about what people say. Everybody I give the respect to. Anyway, love you all. My name is Egberto Willis. This is Politics Done Right. And you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people.